What's up, traders? It's time for the Forex Weekly Outlook. But before we begin, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell icon so that way you know when I put these videos out, especially if you're a new or struggling trader, because the info contained within these videos is solid. So with all that said, let's dive in. What's up, traders? My name is Heath and this is Trade Talk. As you can see over here on the right hand side of the screen, there are quite a few pairs to go over. I'm not sure if I'm going to go over every single one of them to try to keep the video, semi short. However, I will discuss them as quickly as I possibly can. So with that said, we're going to start with the EURUSD, which you can see here on Friday we had a strong bearish close. Now I have a trend line coming in from the December 9th candle, and I tapped it to the low of the December 21st candle. So the low of the 9th candle and the low of the 21st, and essentially you can see that it has not touched that trend line yet, and that trend line may or may not offer up support. Until we are closing candles below at least this market structure low, swing low here, beneath this market swing low here, then this thing is still primed and ready for buying opportunities because you are trending in an upward manner. So with all that said, you can see here that we tapped into this market structure low here. All right. Now, I preferably would have liked to seen it stop above on this high, or not high, but above on the open of this bearish candle at 1.22236, but it closed below that. And whenever that happens, I essentially just kind of look, where do we have more opens and closes at the same level, so to speak. So like at this price point here, you can see price did push below it but closed above it, which is important to know because this was the last closing price before price moved away. Okay, and why is it important? Because the only thing that we have below this price currently are wicks. That's why that market structure is relevant, all right? Because you do not have a closing candle body below this level, and that level is at 1.22130. So coming into the week, this line here I got from an hourly time frame. I do have a couple questions regarding this. I get my market structure levels from daily and 8-hour time frames. I use the 8-hour time frame more than I use the daily time frame because, quite simply put, I am a shorter term scalp trader. And once again, guys, I use the 8-hour candles because the FX market is a 24-hour, 5-day-a-week trading market. So there are 3 sessions within each day: the Asian session, the London session, and the New York session. And there are also 3 8-hour candles within each day. So essentially, each 8-hour candle is kind of sort of like a session. And that's very, very important because those 3 candles make up your daily range. And if you're trying to scalp for daily range expansion, then a lower time frame market structure area is what I want to look for. Daily and weekly market structure levels hold more weight over the 8-hour time frame. For instance, if you go into a daily chart and you have a market structure on a daily chart, then that market structure is probably going to be more valid than the closer 8-hour market structure, if that makes any sense. And I apologize if it doesn't. However, moving on. So this white line I got from an hourly time because that 8-hour candle that was put in during the New York session on Thursday was a strong bearish candle, a long ranged candle. So you have from the open to the low is a pretty good size range. So there is no market structures for me to go by looking to see if price wants to continue lower and it wants to find resistance. I need to go into a lower time frame chart so that way I can find profit taking candles. And as you can see on a 1-hour chart, the first bullish candle closure is all the way up here at 1.22718. So this area up here, if price comes back up into that area, if the bears are in control, I would expect to see failure at this level. If I'm seeing failure at this level on an hourly time frame basis, then I will assume the bears are in control of this market, and there's a pretty good chance that they're going to be aiming lower. Now, let me go back to an 8-hour time frame because this is important to tell you. If I take this line here and then this line up here, let me get rid of this line and this line real quick because this is important. So essentially, this is the low end of a price swing. So you have a swing low and then a push up and a swing high. All right, so anything within this swing low and swing high is inside of a range. All right, that is a price range. So this can either be a lower or a higher low being put in for a next run higher, or if the bears are in control of this market and are going to be aiming for this market structure down here, then you are still in a range. So it is impossible to take a trade inside of this range without the lower time frame charts. That's why I go into them, and I will show you one more time. Right here, if the bears are in control, I will expect to see a resistance hold at 1.22718. If we closing candles above that and it looks like we're heading higher, then the target is going to be the high of this bullish candle here, because there's a lot of sell or buy stops above this area, which by default, if they're shorting this market, they are a buyer at a higher price. So that could be the target. If this isn't the target and the bears are in control, then this low down here, if we're closing 8-hour candles, like say for instance below this trend line and below this market structure level here on an 8-hour time frame, if we're closing an 8-hour below that, this is going to be the first area to look for support. However, this will be the target because there's a lot of stops underneath that are sell stops. So anybody that got long on this candle and they still have their stop loss down here or up here, they are by default making themselves a willing seller at a lower price. Okay, so that's why it's important for you to understand this. So basically moving forward, depending on who has control of the market, at these market structure areas will determine the direction of the trade that I take, if I even take a trade on this pair. All right, so right here in the middle of this range, I can't do anything because it tells me absolutely nothing about who's in control. This could just be a higher low. It could come into higher low support and bulls rebuy and push this market higher. And if that's what it wants to do, I'm okay with that. I will gladly buy it. If shorts are in control and they want to push it lower, then I will gladly sell it. So let's move on. Aussie yen. Aussie yen is on a rampage. You can see this thing is strong, and it had a nice strong push, and then Friday evening it closed, or Thursday, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting that this was a holiday week. Thursday it had a close lower, but it still did not take out the open of that candle. So in my opinion, the bulls are obviously still in control. All right, first area to look for a support hold is going to be 79.121. If you close below that, the next level to look for is 78.774. All right, and this is also your near-term swing low for this push up, made a swing high, and then a higher low, and then up. So I do not want to see any 8-hour closures below that level, and that level is going to be 78.622. If an 8-hour candle closes below 78.622, I have to assume that this low all the way down here is going to be the target, and that's at 77.496. However, I do want to see a pullback from here to generate sentiment to make short sellers believe that they have picked the top of this market to create more liquidity on the side of higher buyers. In other words, sell stops are buy orders. So if we come down and we hold support at either 79.121 or 78.774, those areas I will look to be a buyer. Pound dollar. Pound was the strongest pair on Thursday. It was moving up. It took out the target from last week. right here, that high, and closed strong. So here's another one of those times where you have a range expansion on an 8-hour time frame and you don't have any bearish candles. So your first bearish candle is all the way down here. So, and see if we can find any areas before we get down here. And as you can see, there are several bearish candles. Now, the one that I like the most will be this one here. And the reason is because when price made this bearish candle and then pushed out of it, it never came back and retested it. All right. So this bearish candle was retested with this candle, this candle, and this candle, this candle. You see what I'm saying? This bearish candle right here was also never retested. So I guess you could use that as your first area to look for a support hold. So if price pushes back down here to 1.36190, you can look to see if support holds here. All right. Remember, price can wick down as long as you're closing candles above that area. Then it may be a valid area to look to enter long, targeting this high up here that was put in on December 31st. With all this said, guys, this is not financial advice. It's never financial advice. This is just me telling you what I'm looking at moving forward for the week ahead. All right? You can take it however you want to take it, but do not take it as financial advice. Now, so if we fail here at 1.36190, it's okay if price comes all the way back down to 1.35395. That is still a valid area, in my opinion, to look for long opportunities. When will I hold off on looking for long opportunities? Simply stating, if this market structure right here gets taken out, because that is your swing low, and price is closing candles below that, then I have to assume that the next relevant structure is here at 1.33621, but the target would be that low at 1.33042. And if you're closing an 8-hour candle below that, then this low will be the next target. But that's only the bearish case. I am not looking at bearish targets quite yet because it's obviously bullish. New Zealand yen. Guys, always take the trade in the direction of the trend. It will help you out so much. Instead of trying to pick tops and bottoms, and I can't stress this enough, if you stop doing that, your trading will improve. Just by stop trying to pick tops and stop trying to pick bottoms. I understand, it's sexy. Yes, for you to throw a picture up on whatever chat room you're a part of and say, look, I caught the high, na boo boo. Yeah, it looks good, but it's not a profitable strategy. A profitable strategy is what you're looking for, right? Not a sexy trade that you lost 4 times before you actually caught the winner. That's not the right way to do this. Trade in the direction of the trend. Let price tell you what's happening. That way, your trades will be a lot better off. Your trading. New Zealand yen. Sorry for the rant. New Zealand yen had a little bit of a weak day, so we did take out the low of these 2 candles here. We got caught by this market structure right here. Oh, get off there. What are you doing? I'm in control, not you. Anyways, just messing around, guys. Well, actually, it did not catch it, so we did close below. You see this? We did close below this bearish candle's open here, which is okay. If we start taking out the closes of these bearish candles, this one and this one, I would probably use this one rather than this one because this one's lower, obviously. So if you close an 8-hour candle below this area here at 74106, you can look for this area to come into play at 73.761, at which point I would look for this to hold support, for this to move higher, because risk on in the markets. Just because you see a big bearish candle like this means absolutely nothing. All right? I'm sure these guys right here, when they saw these big bearish candles come in and took out all these market structure areas here, that they were on the right side of the market. No, they weren't. And I'll tell you why. Because it's in an uptrend. All right? Always look to buy uptrends off support. Especially if you're a swing trader or any kind of trader. You look to buy off support in uptrends. And if you're a seller, you look to sell off resistance in downtrends. Hopefully that makes sense. Jordan preaches that so much. Hopefully you guys understand what he's talking about. All right, so if we get a support hold at any of these levels at 73.761, I will look for this target up here eventually. All right, so moving forward, S&P 500 had a strong day Thursday, made a new all-time high. I mean, there's really nothing to do here, guys. If this thing wants to keep going, it will. Look for a support hold at 37.41.10 first. If you don't get that support hold and price pushes lower, look for a support hold at 36.98.7. And the same goes for down here. However, with the same as on the last pair, this market structure level is lower where the candles actually closed and opened. All right. So this is going to be your so-called line in the sand. If you close lower than that, then you're probably heading lower. But stocks only go up, right? So look for support somewhere down in those areas. I would not look to sell this. I am not short on the S&P 500. Silver broke out of this descending trend line resistance. All right. Had a sell-off, and now we are pushing back up higher. We did hold this area here. All right. So this is going to be your next market structure area low to look for support. All right. If you move lower, the next one, or I'm sorry, this market structure low area is 26.13. This area down here is 25.74. All right. For the bullish side, the bulls need to close above 26.67. You get a closure above that, your target is going to be this high at 27 spot. Here, let me see over here. 27.41. All right, that's the high. I'll go ahead and indicate that by this line there. 27.41. It looks like that's what the target is. We have, like I said, broken out of this. So look, I'm going to look to be a buyer on any pullbacks in price. XAUUSD, same thing. However, I don't think this one has broken out of any sort of trend line. No, it has not. All right, so gold doesn't look as good as silver does. I take for any new subscribers, I simply take my trend lines, I tag it off of two highs. That's it. Bam, bam. That's my trend line. I don't know if it's the exact perfect way to do it, but that's how I do it. And if by taking it off the highs, that encompasses all the price, and especially the price where it turned around at, which is important. So, excuse me. You can see gold is pushing up into this trend line here. So there are going to be sellers right here, lots of them, especially the gold bears. I don't know if there are any gold bears alive, but if they are, they're going to be looking to get short here. I would not. This thing is looking like it is priming up for a breakout, all right? Now, if you get that breakout, there really ain't nothing to do. I guess we could use this market structure here, and this would actually be a great one because you had such a strong bearish push out of that area. So that would absolutely be a good area to look for a resistance hold. And when I say a resistance hold for these uptrends, what I mean is look for price to stop there and find lower high support, all right, to get long again. You don't want to just keep buying highs. You want to wait for market pullbacks, then buy and look for the push higher. So coming into this, though, let this suss itself out, guys. Don't try to buy down here and expect to push out. Well, actually, you could if you wanted to. I do, and I will. Obviously, that's how I trade, but I'm just telling you guys to be careful. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you hold support on a 1 hour basis at 1890.31, you can absolutely target this high, which will bring you right into this trend line. And if you get a lot of stopped out people and this thing's going to go higher, that's going to have a nice breakout to it. So we have to wait and see what gold does, but there is a trade idea there. Now, if you're closing hourly candles below 18.90, look for higher low support to come in at, well, first this area here, but it's already been tested. So I would just look for the bottom of this candle's close here. And that's at 1873.69. Sorry, guys. Pound yen. All right. Pound yen is strong because the pound is strong. Oh, this is our chart there. All right. Pound yen is strong because the pound is strong. So this is going to be your most relevant market structure area. Now it was tested, price did come back into it and test it, and see ya, it took off. We did take out this high, so this target is gone. All right, now there is a market structure level there that you can mark on your charts just to watch to see if the support holds at 140.902. Now this white line comes from all the way back here, and it's not where it's supposed to be, of course. Right there is where I want to, 141.748, and essentially I'm just taking that line from the open of this bullish candle. It is a doji. I don't like taking those market structure areas, but price is already above this one, so it's this one are the only two. And then obviously your super high target is going to be 142.718. So moving back over to current price, those are those areas up there. If you get a resistance hold here, look for a high or low support hold at 140.624. This line here. All right. If you get that, you can be a buyer looking ultimately for this target at 142.718. If you're closing 8-hour candles below these market structure areas and even down in here, then it's time to look. This is going to be the line in the sand here at 139.087. If I get an 8-hour closure below that, I will be targeting this low here. And this low here is at 136.970. I'm an equal opportunity trader, guys. I'm not a bear or a bull. I'm both. Euro yen. Euro yen did break out and sold right back into that range. That's terrible. This is essentially a false breakout. So, I mean, because you even got a closure above this. Oh, no, you did not. You did not. So it was not a false break. My apologies. A false break is when you get a closure above a breakout area and then a sell-off. That is a false break. Let's get rid of this purple line because my purple lines are confusing people. They're just old support and resistance levels that I forgot to delete. All right, so basically, yeah, this thing's going to continue. We want to see a support hold somewhere. It did come down and looks like it tested this market structure here. Let me stretch it out. I keep forgetting. I'll get better at these videos, guys. I promise. I'm a quick learner. You can see here that the top of the close of this bullish candle, it is a doji, but look how beautiful that support test was. Boom. And it did find some support. Now, with a support hold, we don't know. We never know. We have to let price tell us what it's going to do. Remember, we can't just assume that this is a place where it's going to hold. You can go down to a lower time frame and see what price is doing around there. All right. So, yeah, I want to see this thing hold because this would be a beautiful place to break out of. And you were moving up into the consolidation. So this could be a bear trap, guys. It's important to understand that. So if we start getting higher 8-hour closures, first one I want to see took out is going to be this area here. I want to see price push up and take that area out and get an 8-hour closure above 126.658. I get that. I am going to be targeting this high here at 127.232. This market structure level is going to offer up some resistance if price pushes back up in there. If we close below 125.872, then this is a failed breakout and price is heading lower. All right, that's your line in the sand. Now we'll just have to wait and see what happens, but that's the way I'm going to trade it. If we stay closing candles down here, I'm targeting this low. If we start closing 8-hour candles up here, I'm targeting this high. CAD yen. Now we did get some CAD strength Thursday, as you can see here. We did take out and close above this area here, which was beautifully tested there. That level is 81.069 from the open of this bullish candle. You can see when price pushed up into it, had a phenomenally perfect, let me see the high, 60. All right, so it wasn't perfect. It was 9 pipettes off from being absolutely perfect, and then went down. Now we closed this 8-hour candle below this market structure level, all right, just like we did down here. And on this one, we closed below this trend line support. Where is this ascending trend line support coming from? Essentially, I took it from the low of that and I tapped it to this low here, okay? And it was respected right there. So it looks like the bulls are in control of this market. It is an uptrend. However, let me go out to a 3-day real quick just to show you this. You are trading within a range, a massive, massive range. All right, let me color these lines for you real quick. We'll just do yellow. All right, so here we are. Inside of these yellow lines, you are inside of a range that is massive, and it has been going on since June the 4th, 2020. All right, it does look like the bulls are trying to break out of this range, which is perfect for us. So let's go back down into an 8-hour time frame and get us some targets. All right, so this is going to be the next area to look for a break above, and that's at 81.217. All right, if we get an 8-hour closure above this area up here at 81.460, I will be targeting this high here at 82. Let me get rid of this. At 82.122. Okay. Now, if we start failing here or even here and we start to trade back lower, I have to assume that the bears are trying to aim for this low down here at 80.521. But first, we need closures below 81.069 before you can use that as a target. And that would offer up close to a 50 pip trade. All right, guys. And a 50 pip trade, you get one of those a week. You can change your life. So it's not easy. It's not hard to make money in the markets, guys. The hard part is keeping it. All right. So thank you guys for watching. That's all I have for you. Like always, if you guys have a specific pair or a stock or a cryptocurrency that you want me to look at, a bond, any kind of futures, whatever you want me to look at, make sure you drop the ticker symbol in the description, or in the comment section below. The comment section. Do that. In the next video, I will take a look at those pairs for you guys. All right. So with all that said, guys, we'll talk to you later. And happy trading.